right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to first start out by welcoming everyone. Thank you for being here with us this evening. This is something that we don't do very, very often outside of social evening events. I'm very excited for this. These evening events always make me excited because it gives people an opportunity to join who typically might be working and things like that during the day who can't join other programs of ours. So I'm excited to have you here today. And I'm excited to give you a bit of self-care. One thing about Amplify, at the end of the year, we try to make sure that we encourage the founders that we work with to take care of yourself as you've gone on a very wild ride throughout the year and you embark upon round 2, 3, 4, 37 in the upcoming year. We want you to take a moment to be able to take care of yourself and provide you with some tools to do that and some tools to also share with your team members. So we're so excited to have Dr. Ami Shah here with us today to help us do that. And before we jump into it, just a few housekeeping items. If you have questions along the way, throw them in the chat and we'll make sure that we get to them. Either along the way, we'll be managing them, and anything that we miss, we'll leave for the end and go back through them. And with that being said, I don't want to take up any more time. I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Shah. I'm excited myself to hear what we're going to learn this evening.
Well, thank you so much, Kiana, for this opportunity. Thank you, Amplify, for allowing me to speak today. And I want to appreciate the Louisville entrepreneurial community that's allowed me to grow here and learn from you all. I've always admired the creative spirit of entrepreneurs, and this is the reason why I decided to do this talk, because I want to support and help everyone in our community. Emotional first aid is something that I learned about, but not actually through my schooling as a psychiatrist. It's something I learned about on my own from reading a book, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. It's something that you can learn about, and you can improve your life and change things in dramatic ways for your growth and improvement, so that you can handle anything that comes at you in your future. The things I'll talk about during this talk about are about how to manage life stress, and how to use emotional first aid to make your life easier and to handle anything that comes in your path, so that you don't necessarily have to be stopped by it, so you can be unstoppable. And then it's another thing that I'm going to talk about is how to know if you need more help than just emotional first aid. How do you know if you needed to see a therapist or if you need to get more help than that? So that's what I'm going to be mainly focusing on this talk. I wanted to just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a psychiatrist from the Louisville, Kentucky area. I'm from Kentucky, and I currently work in South Dakota as a remote psychiatrist for the indigenous people of South Dakota. So it's been a wonderful wild ride to have this opportunity to speak for you all today, and give this information to you. As I said, the reason why I'm doing this talk is because I admire you and admire what you're going through. It's really hard. And I want to just say that emotional first aid is about taking care of emotional injuries when they happen, so that they don't become damaging in the long run. So I want to just to first acknowledge you're working hard already. Just this is extra. This is something that you're learning. I hope that will help you forever in your life. But just acknowledge that you are working so hard in your current job, for your families, for your businesses, that everything you're doing matters and matters to other people, and that you matter. And I want to just make sure you know that I appreciate that about you, that you are important, and everything you do, it makes a difference. The things I'll be talking about during this talk are common emotional crises that happen to people, like low self-esteem, rejection, failure, and how to think about them differently so that you're not set back so much. And if you are set back, how to know when you need that help, extra help, to get moving forward again. So I want to share this because it's a great opportunity to be in control of your life, and to know more about how to manage your emotions, so that you're able to move past anything that's stopping you. And it's also completely free. You don't have to rely on insurance or go to the doctor or see a therapist for this. It's totally free, and it's something that you can do to help yourself so that you don't feel like you're stuck, so you can move forward. The first topic I'll talk about is in low self-esteem, or like imposter syndrome. And it's a common feeling that many people have, is that you may not feel like you belong in a certain place, or you don't feel like, even though you have all the skills, that you're accepted there. And I want to just say that everything in my talk today, if you can't remember what I'm saying, or if there's so many little points that it's hard to remember what I'm saying, if you just remember that if you treat yourself like your own best friend, then you have self-compassion for yourself, then everything will fall into place. So with low self-esteem, if people struggle from that, if you adopt self-compassion practices and affirm your strengths, that could be by writing them down. And look at that quite often. Look at their list of the positive things about you quite often. Then it will really help that feeling of low self-esteem. And then sometimes if you allow people to compliment you and say positive things about you, without pushing that aside or saying, oh no, that's not really how it is, then that feeling of being able to accept your strengths and accept yourself will improve your self-compassion for yourself. So some of the exercises that I'm going to be talking about self-compassion throughout the talk, and everything. If there's nothing else that you remember about this talk, remember self-compassion, because that is the underlying idea behind everything I'll talk about today. If you believe that you are your own best friend, and everything you're doing for yourself to help yourself is that you matter and you're worth it, that will always guide you right. So if your intention is to provide yourself with self-compassion at every stage, not only will it help you, but your feelings of anxiety or stress or worry will decrease for yourself, but everyone around you will also feel better. Everyone around you will also, because we're social people, like human beings are social. And what one person feels is contagious. Other people around us will feel that too. So if we're feeling calmer, better, more whole as a person, then everybody around us benefits too. So everything you're learning today in this talk will be beneficial for your family, friends, people you work with, people you know and meet. So thank you for coming in. I think it's going to be something that you will find beneficial for yourself for a long time. So if you're struggling with this feeling of like low self-esteem, increasing your sense of confidence and personal empowerment is really important too. So allowing yourself to make promises to yourself and keep those promises, whether it be something small, like it could be something small. Like, I want to go for a walk today, and I promise myself I'll give myself 10 minutes to go for a walk. And if you promise yourself these things, and then you give yourself that opportunity to do some exercise or to meditate or whatever positive self activity you can think of, if you do that and you promise yourself you'll do that, and you've done that, and that will just increase your sense of empowerment. So make small promises to yourself, write down your strengths, look at those things that you've written down. Another thing that people might do is increase their levels of gratitude by writing down what they're grateful for. So some common self-compassion practices that may help here, I'm going to show you this website, is treating yourself as you would a friend, writing down your strengths, and challenging critical self-talk. So if you're experiencing anything that's weighing you down, pulling you down, then challenge that with looking at a list of your strengths. Challenge that with thinking of how you matter to other people, and or your connections to other people are important. And then finally, when you're building your confidence by making promises to yourself and helping yourself, realize that those feelings of empowerment are contagious too, that increases your confidence yourself, that brings it out to other people. So oh, by the way, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat too. I'm happy to answer any questions as things go on. But when you're dealing with low self-esteem, one of the most important things to do is just realize that you're your own best friend, and everything you do to make things better for yourself can only help other people around you. Even that means taking time off from work. Even if that means like taking a break, or small breaks, or giving yourself something that you want, like something positive, like go for vacation, or even something small, like maybe take a break 15 minutes throughout the day. So that kind of idea is I think it's not really popular in entrepreneurial circles. I may be wrong about that, but taking time for yourself instead of giving it all to your business or giving it all to your work is actually, if you sharpen the saw by helping yourself, it will just improve everything else. So take those moments you need for your family, for yourself, and it will really improve things. In terms of loss and emotional pain, there's just so much I'd like to say about this. When you're struggling with emotional pain, it's okay to soothe yourself. It's okay to watch TV for hours. It's okay to take that time you need to soothe yourself. It's okay to scroll through Facebook for a long time. Look at, just, it's okay to have that time when you spend for yourself. And soothing the emotional pain is okay. You don't need to be 100% productive all the time. The most important thing is to take care of yourself, do what you need to do to make yourself feel better in the moment when you're experiencing severe emotional pain. Sometimes looking at pictures from the past might help. Talking with people that know you from the past might help. Feeling better takes time. So that's important. Just allow yourself to not feel good sometimes, and allow yourself to realize that some days will be better than other days. So that idea that you're self-compassionate for yourself, like maybe I can't do everything today that I plan to, but maybe I can do more tomorrow, or finish what I started today or tomorrow. And that's okay too. Having self-compassion, allowing yourself to be your own best friend, saying it's okay, I did the best I could today, that's what my best looked like, and that's fine. You might go back to old hobbies. You might go back in your past and remember, oh, I used to love fishing. I used to love this, I used to love that. Go back in your past, find things that made you happy before and try them again. That may help you reconnect to different parts of your life that you've lost as a part of the loss or emotional pain. So revisit your memories, revisit your family, revisit friends, and go back to those moments where you felt happiest, especially if you're still feeling the pain now. Sometimes emotional pain causes us to not be able to work for a little while. And that's fine. You should take the time that you need to spend time thinking about how to help yourself, how to get yourself feeling better. But when you can, get back to work and school, because that will help you get back on track and with a routine. And you may feel more normal having something to do. And if you're experiencing a tragedy, it's very hard to find meaning in that, but it may be possible for you to find meaning in a tragedy. And I say that because there's a book, and you may have heard of this, called Man's Search for Meaning, by a doctor named Dr. Viktor Frankl. And he said that the purpose of people's lives is not necessarily to find a meaning in a certain thing, like a certain job or a certain role that you play, but rather to find meaning in the suffering that you have, and to find a meaning, to find the ability to choose your own direction no matter what you're going through. So remember that you have a personal choice to go through life and make those decisions about what's best for you in the moment, and also what's best for other people that you know and care about. And that free will is something that we have as human beings that sets us apart. So I wanted to share that even though there may not initially seem to be any meaning in tragedy that you're going through, the meaning might be in the suffering and how you choose to deal with it. If you're experiencing such loss and emotional pain that prevents you from doing anything or reduces your functioning to very little, or even makes you feel like not wanting to be here or struggles with wanting to keep going on, you should definitely see a mental health professional. And I'm going to give some more resources at the end. But if you feel, I wanted to share that if you feel very lost or hopeless, it's very important to seek out help, because there is a lot of help for that. There's a lot of help for that now. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that everyone potentially can go through in their life, but you can get a lot of help for. In terms of like dealing with stress as a business person, there can be a little bit of, or maybe a lot of loneliness as in your business, or when you're reaching a certain level of success, you may not feel like you have a lot of people you can talk to about it or about your problems that you're experiencing. And for that, I have talked to some entrepreneurs about their feelings of loneliness, and the one of the things that you can do is try to reduce the feeling that you're alone by reaching out to more people. I know that might seem strange, like you feel like when you're lonely, you feel like you have to close more in. It's kind of like a isolating feeling. You feel like every time you feel lonely, you close more in. But instead of doing that, reaching out to more people and kind of getting out of your shell might help. And the thing that people might experience problem with is like feeling like that it's hard to strengthen your relationships with other people when you're feeling lonely. So it's more difficult to strengthen your relationships then, but by approaching more people, by getting out there more, finding your family and friends, going back to your place of safety with your family and friends, and then reaching out from there to more people. And if you have limited support system, even getting a pet, that can help. So I'm sorry, getting a pet, so that pets can help bring us out of our shell too. So some people told me that when they have their dog with them, they always make a lot of friends because they're always going out and everyone's petting their dog. So it's okay to like reach out to your family, friends, even pets as supporters when you're feeling lonely, and they can help. If you express that you're feeling that way, they can help. Even animals can make you feel so much better and when you're feeling lonely. So sometimes people don't take that opportunity or take that chance to make new connections if you're feeling lonely. But that's something I think that is really helpful, especially approaching new people, going to networking events and going out of your home, trying to put an extra effort into that if you can, if you're not feeling too depressed, or putting more effort into approaching new people, experiencing new ideas, maybe going to groups like a hobby group, or I can see that some people might feel I need to spend all my time working. I have this project I'm doing. I need to make sure that I do everything for it. And that can be very isolating. But having time apart from your project will make your project more exciting. And it may even help your project succeed. So taking time away and trying to make more connections or maintain your connections with other people will reduce your loneliness and will help a lot. And I think that the animals, or having animals in your life, can really change things, especially if it's hard to find the opportunity to make friends, or go out of your house to go to social events. That's having a dog or a cat or a hamster might make a big difference for a lot of people. Yeah. In terms of guilt, guilt is the belief that we've done something wrong to someone or caused someone harm. And sometimes when we feel guilt, we feel like um, we haven't lived up to our own expectations for ourselves. So it causes us some, like, a nagging feeling. Oh, we didn't do what we were supposed to do, or we didn't do something that we should have done. So that feeling, that guilt feeling, is to signal to us that what we did or what we were about to do is something that violates our personal boundaries. And if we did something that harms other people, we should give an apology. That's actually not just for them, it's for us. So that feeling of guilt can signal us that we need to make amends. So, and then also, not only are we giving an apology to other people, but we're also forgiving ourselves for whatever it is that we may have done. And that's something that when we forgive ourselves, that's a type of self-compassion. It's a type of realizing that we're our own best friend. We're only human and we make mistakes. So it's something good that we're doing for ourselves. And in the case where we may have survived an accident or a tragedy and no one else or someone else did not, we might feel survivor guilt. We're alive and somebody else did not make it. And you're not able to repair the relationship in that case because there's a tragedy and someone else is not here anymore. In that case, it's important to re-engage again with life and do things that you like to do. Go back in your memories, go back to your family, go back to your friends, re-engage with them. And you can even journal, meditation may help, deep breathing may help. Going back to a safe place will often help when you're having survivor guilt of a tragedy of some sort. So I think you see there's sort of a theme here I'm talking about. Whenever you're struggling with some sort of emotional tragedy or some crisis in your life, find a safe place, be self-compassionate, and then also slowly, when you're ready, after grief that you may be feeling, take that time. After that time, re-engage with things that you used to like or used to enjoy. So those are some of the things I want to share. And then some people, and I know we all struggle with this, is this feeling of worry, like constant worry, especially when we have a project we're working really hard on. We want everything to fall into place. We want everything to be perfect. And so this feeling of like constant worry may be in the back of our minds all the time. And it's called rumination. And rumination can mean that you're picking at emotional scabs, or there's a feeling that you can't seem to, it's like a nagging feeling in your mind and you can't seem to get rid of it. And so is this, yes, anyone there? Okay. This feeling is like about constantly worrying, and it's just this intense urge that some people might feel. It compels us to be constantly thinking about the problems that we have. And if you change your perspective, it's just very difficult. I'm not saying it's easy. None of these things is easy. But when you change your perspective, find something else about your situation that you find positive, it might be able enough to change your thinking pattern, because the rumination is kind of like a deep ditch kind of thinking pattern. You get stuck in this ditch. So what I'm suggesting is you do a gratitude practice. Gratitude practice might be like counting your blessings. And that is something that It's very simple. All you do is take a piece of paper, write at least 3 things down that you're grateful for every day. And that can change your perspective a lot, from worrying to being grateful for what you do have. And that can actually reverse some of the worry that you have, because you can see, oh, I have these positive things in my life, and that grateful feeling can reduce the anxiety you feel. So you can do a gratitude practice. You can also distract yourself from emotional pain you're feeling by doing exercise. Okay, because the mind-body connection of exercise for your body can affect your peace in your mind. So if you're exercising, going for something like a walk, or even something that's just for a small walk, or even just doing the dishes can make a difference. Like doing something with your hands, some chore around your home can make a difference. So that's also exercise. So something repetitive that you're doing for not only that for taking care of your house, but also helps you distract yourself from emotions you're having, worries that you're having. So taking care of some of the chores in your home might help. And if you're experiencing anger or rumination about worries about anger that you're feeling, you can reframe that anger as being helpful to get you moving in the direction that you want to go. So if there's something that made you upset, you just have to change the way you think about these things. And it may be difficult, yes, I'm saying that. But if you use a gratitude practice, you exercise, and then you realize that sometimes things happen to us to make things, to change our way of thinking, it may help you kind of pry yourself out of the constant worrying you're feeling. And then some people, when they struggle with worry, it's so very hard for them to not tell people their worries a lot, like all the time. So even though you can't always have support from your family and friends, or it may be a lot for them to hear it. To hear about your worries all the time. So to preserve your relationship with family and friends, it's, yes, you do need to tell people what you're feeling and how you're feeling. It's important to share. But at the same time, if it's to the point where they can't handle the amount of worries you're having, do seek out a therapist. Do get additional help. Do see a counselor. Do go to if you need to go to church, go to excuse me. If you feel like church is helpful, or if you feel like a spiritual place is helpful, you can seek out that place too. But there's all kinds of professionals that you can go to for more support. Because sometimes family and friends, although they want to be helpful, they don't know how, and they don't know what the best thing to say would be. Sometimes they say the wrong thing by accident, and they don't realize it hurts you. So it's important to seek out maybe more professional help at that point, especially if the rumination is affecting your relationship. Rejection happens to everybody at some point, and I think all these experiences happen to all of us. And if we experience something that is painful, like rejection, we tend to criticize ourselves, saying, oh, we didn't do this right, or I'm this way, or whatever. But that feeling of self-criticism should be balanced by self-compassion. There's 2 sides to that coin. So every time we say something negative, like, oh, I didn't do this well, or that pitch didn't go well as I wanted, I wish I hadn't done that way, the self-compassion part is that I've practiced doing that pitch again. I'm better than I was yesterday. So it's an amazing shift to think about this differently. Like, yes, there may have been some things that you wanted to improve, but you have done this already, and you've practiced, and now the next time will be better. You can only get better. You can only improve. Think of things as 2-sided coins. As when things are negative, there's always a positive to that. There's the positive side to that coin. When you're experiencing low self-worth, you're feeling very bad about yourself, Get that paper, get that pen, write down all those things that are your strengths. Because many people don't have strengths of creativity and that many entrepreneurs have. So write those things down. Write those things down that that you should be proud of, and you can be proud of, and many things that your family or friends say about you. Keep all those things kind of like in a scrapbook, kind of like a personal notebook. And remember, whenever you need to, pull that out, because that's going to help you counteract any rejection you feel. If you feel that you've been rejected socially, make an effort as much as you can, to whatever degree you can, to meet more people that may have more things in common with you. I know that seems like maybe hard or maybe scary to go out of your comfort zone, to meet more people and to try new things. But if the people in your life have, if you've had a romantic rejection or business rejection or anything like that, that just means that there's something else out for you. There's something out there better for you. Just have to find it. So those connections that you're looking for, you have to be adventurous to find. So you can always go back to your family and friends for safety. You can always think about the self-compassion practices that I've talked about as being safe places. You can even, if necessary, do these self-soothing things, like maybe even like self-soothing things could be washing your hands under cold water or warm water, having massages, things like that are self-soothing, or going to the massage, or like those kind of things that you can go back to a safe place whenever you're feeling stressed or when you're feeling threatened or attacked. So going back to your safe place, going back to your family and friends, and then maybe your pets or your animals that you have. But then also looking at your list of positive characteristics about you. And then be adventurous and go out there again and meet new people. Keep trying. There's something that I actually recommend, and maybe other people would also recommend this, is to lower your sensitivity to rejection in the first place. If you're somebody that's very sensitive to rejection, is to go to great lengths to accept, to try to be rejected. So if you are somebody that notices that you struggle with rejections to the point where you can't, maybe you don't want to continue doing what you need to do, take some time to be rejected on purpose. There's even classes where you can go to be rejected, and learn rejection techniques. And I've actually been to classes like that, and I think they're really great. So I wanted to share that if you feel like you are sensitive to rejection and it prevents you from getting where you want to go, try to be rejected more on simple things like, what if you go to Chipotle, ask for some cookies as well as your burrito, and say can I have a free cookie with my burrito? And they may say no, but they may say yes. So that idea, just see if you can be rejected for simple things, and then see if you can build up that rejection tolerance over time. I see some people wrote in the chat. I'll just take a minute to reply to this. As far as I know, I'm going to share the resource where I got all this information. So you will have a resource that will have everything I said in it. Okay. At the end, this slides probably won't be available, but the resource will be, and I will share that at the end. Does anyone have anything in comment, or anything to comment? Anything else to the comment? Okay. So there is classes on being rejected, and I've been to those classes and I found them very helpful. So if you are struggling with being rejected, there's hope out there. And I can answer some questions about that if you want, or if you have any questions about that. I think we're all afraid of failure. We're all afraid of making a mistake that will lead us to feeling like we can't go further in our careers. And that is that's another thing. There's a pattern here. You want to seek out, if you failed, seek out your safe places. Seek out your family, friends, people you know have your back. Seek out things that you enjoy, that you can seek refuge in. And then go back to self-compassion. Write down the positive things about yourself. Write down the things that you know are part of who you are, that are wonderful values or traits that you have. And I'll look at those things. And then you may want to exercise, do meditation, and take good care of yourself. Eat healthy food, eat probiotics. Try to make sure you have all the nutrition that you have, and regain control of how you feel about yourself. So it's okay. It's okay. I know a lot of entrepreneurs want to have this feeling of always being in control, always having appearance of, especially the appearance of competency all the time, and to not feel weak. But it's okay to go back to a weak feeling if it gets you on your feet again. So the idea I'm trying to share is, if you need to, go back to your safe place, or go back to your safe feelings, and go back to those positive qualities that you have. Write them all down, and then you'll be able to bounce back more easily from failure. So, because sometimes when we're like, I know that myself included, when we fail, we think, oh, that's part of who I am. That's part of where I made a mistake or turned wrong. That doesn't mean that you can't move forward from there. So if you need to take that time mentally off, to go to your safe places and regroup yourself before trying again, that's a great idea. And remembering that if you take responsibility for failure, you're in control of it then. Like, I know people might say, oh, you took responsibility for failure. It's not always your fault. But if you take responsibility for failure, with the idea that you're in control of your life, that makes you feel a lot better about a failure. It makes you feel much more in control and more powerful about your failure. So, and it gives you the opportunity to practice and get better. So if you have a fear of failure, if you have fear of like choking under pressure or test anxiety, manage your performance pressure by realizing this is just another attempt and I'm going to try again. And every time I attempt something, I can only get better from the last time. So those are some of the ideas that I wanted to share related to failure. These, if you had a need for additional resources, there are lots of resources out there. Of course, please tell your friends, family, people you might know about these ideas that I share in the talk. Call the mental health hotline for them or yourself if you ever needed anything in terms of mental health emergencies, and that is 988. And then there's, of course, 911 if there's any emergencies that you're experiencing, or anyone that you know or friends that you know are experiencing. If you know anyone that needs a therapist, there's a website called psychologytoday.com that has everything, usually based on according to your location. It has all the therapists in your location, and you can just choose from there according to your interests. It has everything in there. And actually, I'll show you what that looks like so you can see. Psychology Today is right here. And it's just kind of a list of therapists, and it has, you can sort by insurance, sort by the types of therapy you want to get. So it's a very helpful, usable website that can make a difference for a lot of people. And if in your area you need to see a therapist, like in person, or that you want to see them online, if there's a preference of online or in person, you can get both. So there's all kinds of community mental health resources in the Louisville area. There's 7 counties. They're in the Indiana area. There's Life Point, I believe. and any local hospital will be willing to help you. So or your friends or your family or anybody you know. So this is all useful information, not just for yourself, but for other people in your life. If you ever need to have that, that's there. And then remember you're part of a broader community, and everything that happens to you and your life it does affect other people. So if you're struggling with something, other people also struggle with things that may be similar to you, and you have a lot in common with other people that are going through business related concerns. So your family, you and your friends, you're all interconnected, and everyone really matters. And you don't know who's suffering or who's struggling. Maybe they won't say, but to be kind to everyone, if you can, may help, so that you never know what people really are dealing with. Let's see. The last couple of slides are that I just wish this talk would help others, and maybe if you could share just through your experiences to other people that you might know, that the basic underlying thing that I'm talking about in this talk that may help everyone is that we should all be self-compassionate. We should all treat ourselves like we would a best friend. And if we do that, if our intention is to be that for ourselves, then everything else will fall into place. So, and you'll be able to handle some of these horrible, maybe difficult situations that people sometimes go through much easier, and be able to move forward, hopefully in a less damaged and more positive way. This is the book I was talking about that has everything in it. Everything I said, even more than what I said, is in this book. It's called Emotional First Aid, and by Guy Winch. He's a psychologist who wrote this book, I think about 10-15 years ago. And it's available at the Louisville Public Library for checking out. So you can easily get this probably today if you wanted to go down there, or tomorrow. If you needed to get that off Amazon, it is available on Amazon as an audiobook. And I found this book to be extremely helpful. This is the actual title of the book and information about when it was published, if you wanted to get that book. But everything I've presented in this talk is in this book, and it is available for free. So I want you to, if you want to look at that, I want you to have that. Does anyone have any questions or anything else I can help with?
Really quickly, thank you, Amy, for all this information. This really was informative, and I think I actually really needed this more than I thought. So I truly appreciate that. Second, you said this book is free?
Yeah, at the library. Yeah.
Oh, at the library. I thought you were saying it was
yeah, the library, it's free. You can get it. When the book is available on Amazon for, I think $15, but it is available at the library that's where I got the book, the library.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when I first got the book was about, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, I got the book, and I read this. And of course, this wasn't what I was taught in school. Okay. So I read this book, and I thought this is a very interesting approach. It helped me personally as a human being. And it was a free book I got from the library. So I wanted to share this talk with you because I think everyone can benefit from this. This is just a knowledge, kind of like a knowledge self kind of pearl self-knowledge type thing that you can have. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's just going to be, if we all realize that we only have one of us, and we're our best friend, then everything that we do that happens to us that's terrible, if we treat ourselves well after that, give ourselves space to allow ourselves to feel the pain, but also, take care of ourselves physically as well as socially, as well as nutritionally, and eating well and sleeping good, then we can go back out there again. We can fight again. We can go back to what we need to do. But if we don't take that time to regroup, to put things back in order, we won't be able to do that as effectively. That's what the idea is.
Thank you for that. Does anyone else have any questions? I didn't see any questions in the chat. There was conversation in the chat for sure, just not any questions. So feel free to interrupt me if a question arises for you. But I did want to let you all know that this recording will be sent out to you in a follow-up email for you to reference later, as well as I'll put a link to the book that Dr. Shaw referenced, so that if you do want to purchase it, you have a direct link to it. And I do want to just thank you all for joining us this evening, taking some time out for yourself, especially, you know, as founders and entrepreneurs. We deal with so much healing from rejection, shifting our focus on what failure looks like, because I feel like our whole lives we're taught failure is bad. And then you get into this startup world and they're like, no, failing is good. You fail forward, or the more you fail, the more I feel like you know what you're doing. And it's like, hold on, wait, what's happening here? And then doing all of these things in the midst of our own everyday traumas or experiences, or, you know, no matter what you're going through in your life, you're still expected to perform and move your company or your business forward. And so we thank you for providing a safe space to have these conversations, and also tools for all of us to put in our back pockets as we navigate all of the spaces and the many hats that we all wear on a daily basis. So thank you so much for providing us with this. To the rest of you all, thank you for joining us here at Amplify for yet another program. As we wrap up the year, please pass this along so that people in your circle can have tools as well. We encourage you to follow us on all of our socials. Everything is at Amplify Louisville across the board, as well as join our Amplify community at amplifylouisville.com, so you can stay up to date with all of the happenings, events around the city, events and programs that Amplify is hosting, so we can continue to do this and grow and learn and collaborate together. And with that being said, if we have no more questions, once again, thank you to Dr. Ami Shah, and we will see you all next time. Thank you all.